A very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Aussie's Migration and Education Conclave 2021. This session is especially for professional year program in accounting, engineering, and ICT. So with me, we have Ashwinder Deep Singh, who will be giving us information on the professional year program. Just before starting the session, I'll just introduce myself. I'm Saru, and with me, I have Meet Shah, and we both the session coordinators for the session. So I would like to give a little introduction about Ashwinder. Mr. Ashwinder Deep Singh is a migration team member in Aussie's Group Brisbane. He assists migration agents in SC 485 visa, general skill migration visas, skill assessment applications, and partner visas. The professional year program is his forte, and he guides the applicants throughout the process of a professional year. Since every PY provider has their own strengths and unique selling points, Mr. Ashwinder Singh has been assisting his clients in choosing the right provider based on their needs and career from his knowledge and experience over the years. He has the ability to work on complex cases and he liaises with the applicants for a swift and efficient process. So let's get in touch with him for professional year guidance. Thank you, Ashwinder, for joining us today.
Thank you, Saru, for introducing me, and thank you, Minik, for the introduction video. So, hi everyone. Today I'm gonna talk about professional year program. It's a program which for accounting, IT, and engineering students. So I'll present you the slides.
While Ashwinder is sharing his screen, I'll just like to tell everyone that if you have any questions, you can always put them in the chat box. And at the end of the session, if the time permits, we will try our level best to answer those questions. But just in case we are not able to answer all the questions in this session, we do have a specialized question and answer session today at 5 p.m., which is 5 to 6 p.m. And your all detailed questions will be answered during that session. Thank you.
Thank you again, Saru, for clarifying that. So guys, let's start about professional year program. I'll just give you the introduction and everything. After that, you guys, as Saru told, you can ask your questions and we will try our best to answer them. So let's start with the presentation. So professional year program, as I told you, it's for three streams: accounting, engineering, and ICT. ICT means Internet Communications and Technology. So let's go with it. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about what is PY program, benefits of the program, introduction to the providers, means the providers with whom we deal, and then the program overview, requirements to get into the program, and what's the fee structure for that program. So let's start. See, what is PY program? Many students and many people come to us and they ask, okay, so what's the program? We have heard about it, but what does it give us actually? So PY program is basically a job preparedness program, which prepares you so that you guys can work in Australian work culture. Almost everyone is a migrant. We haven't had a chance to work, and most of them have no chance to work in Australian workplace while they are on student visa. Like I'm talking about corporate structure, though we do other jobs and all that stuff. But this will help you in getting into know how you need to work in Australian workplace. What is the culture? What are the standards they follow? Everything. In this program, three streams I talked about earlier, like ICT, engineering, and accounting. Only for these three streams, people can do PY program. Now, before I move on to requirements, I'll talk about the benefits. That's the most common question which I get from the clients. So what are the benefits of PY program? First of all, you get real industry exposure because you'll come to know what is the Australian workplace culture. You will come to know how they deal, what is report writing, resume writing, all that stuff in this PY program. Secondly, it adds 5 migration points to your migration points as well. As you all know, there are employment opportunities via internship. Now on this, I will stress about. If you want to do PY for migration points only, do it. But what I recommend is try to put your effort into it. It's a simple program. You just have to attend classes 1 week only, once a week only of your choice of your day. But this program, I have seen many students getting the employment from the same host companies they did internship with. So you can very well imagine if you have job, you know your peer pathways are sorted. So that's the only thing. Next is it helps in getting full skills assessment for ICT and accounting graduates. Now, for ICT and accounting, If you do PY, you can get full skills assessment on basis of that. And as we all know, we need skills assessment for PR process in future, right? So this is a sure shot option for you guys. Next. Now the providers with whom we deal are Navitas in Performance. There are other providers as well, but we focus only with these two because of the qualitative purposes. Now Navitas provide PYP, professional year program, in all three streams, whereas Performance, they have only in ICT and accounting. Campus locations, if I talk about, Navitas has more campuses as compared to Performance, and student transfers are available on both the providers. It depends on the availability. So suppose somebody starts the program and after 2-3 months, I'll give an example. It has happened with many of our students. They joined in Brisbane and then they got the job offer from Melbourne. So they wanted to go there. So what you have to do in this scenario with Navitas and Performance, you have to let them know beforehand. It's not like you're getting job next week and you go to the provider like Navitas or Performance on Friday and say, I want to join for the next week. That will not be possible. So let them know beforehand. And if they have seats available for the current or the future PY intake, they will let you know. They will get your place reserved over there, and then you can join the program in that respective city. Now coming to what PY is, it's totally a 44 weeks program. In each 32 weeks, you attend classes. And as I told you, classes will be 1 day each week. So you have to spare the day for that class. And it's must, you should attend all the classes if possible. And after the 32 weeks program classes, you will have 12 weeks of internship opportunity. In that, as I told you, internship will be related to your field, like accounting. If you're an accountant, it will be related to your field. If you're an engineer, obviously it could be mechanical, electrical, electronic, whichever. So internship is the most important component, not only for the perspective of program, but for your career pathway as well, for your PR pathway as well. So put your full effort into it, and you may get opportunity for getting a job in the same company. And I have seen in many of the clients that after completing their PY program, they have got jobs in their respective field within 6 months of completing the program. 50%, that's, I'm talking about statistics here now. 50% of the students get the employment in the same company where they did internship, and remaining 80% of students, if I talk about, they get the job within 6 months because that internship reflects on your resume. So companies in Australia want someone who has a little bit knowledge at least. So that's how this process works. No doubt it adds 5 migration points, as I explained earlier, but this gives an immense opportunity to get into employment, your field, become a professional in your field, everything. Now coming up to next slide. What are the requirements to get into the program? First of all, visa requirement. It's a very common question people ask me. So what is the requirement, visa requirement? Now see, you must have 12 months of validity of your visa with full work rights and study rights. So, and 12 months validity means, I'll give an example, you will understand better. Suppose somebody is going to join, let's say 15th July intake. Okay. So they say, okay, I have 12 months validity from now onwards. But if you join on 15th of July, and from that date, you don't have 12 months validity of your visa, you will not be able to enroll the program. So you get my point. The basic thing is 12 months validity. And what kind of visas I'm talking about? 485 visa, we commonly call it TR, or you can say post-study work permit. 476 visa, if somebody has come from offshore, especially engineering students, they get 476 visa. That's a different scenario, but that visa can work. If somebody has applied for 485 visa, do not wait for your 485 visa outcome to come. Okay, don't wait for the grant. As soon as you apply, if you can, then you will be on bridging visa A most probably. So apply for the program and get enrolled. That's the advice we give to the people. Why I give that? Suppose nowadays we have seen that 485 visa. takes around 6 to 8 months to come. Okay, so utilize those 6 to 8 months. By the time you get 485 visa, your at least half of your PY will be done. So you're saving a lot of time there. Now coming back to study requirements, study you require in ICT, you require onshore study. Okay, you must have done at least bachelor's or master's for this in your like masters of IT, masters of information system, or bachelor's of IT, all that. In engineering, onshore and offshore can work. I'll explain you this. Suppose somebody has done masters of engineering here. I'll take an example of, let's say, mechanical major. That person can enroll in engineering program, PYP. But if somebody has done, let's say, Masters of Engineering Management or Masters of Project Management, but offshore he has studied or she has studied bachelor's in, let's say, Bachelor's of Technology in Mechanical again, that person can also enroll in PY program. It depends case by case basis, but there is a good chance that you can get into the enrollment. You have to meet the other criteria as well. Secondly, for accounting, again, your study should be onshore, either bachelor's or master's. Now, what is English score requirement? For ICT, it should be 50 overall, 50 each. If I talk on the in the perspective of IELTS, it should be 6 overall, 6 each. For engineering, 50 overall and 36 each means in IELTS, you get 6 overall, 5 each. That's the minimum requirement. For accounting, same, 6 overall, 6 each. Now, other requirement is skills assessment. Now, in ICT, skills assessment is not mandatory. I'll tell you, in some cases, we need skill assessment. Why? Suppose your program is not ACS accredited. Now, ACS is the authority who gives you the green light to enroll into PY, who does your skills assessment. So if your course is not ACS accredited, then you may need provisional skills assessment to get enrolled into IT, which is very rare. I haven't seen like this case for like from last 8 months. In engineering, yes, you need skills assessment. You must have at least applied for the skill assessment. You can submit the outcome later. You can wait for the outcome and then join PY program. That's up to you. But my recommendation is at least apply for the skill assessment and enroll into the program. Accounting, you need at least provisional skills assessment. You can get full skills assessment as well if you have 65 overall, 65 each in PTE. PTE means 7 overall, 7 each in IELTS. You can get full skills assessment, but you need at least provisional skill assessment again. Apply for the skill assessment and start the enrollment process for the professional year. So these are the requirements for this to how to enroll in professional year. Next is cost, fee structure. Now we, as I told, we only deal with these two providers because of the qualitative process. Now in ICT, performance education fees is around 8,100 to 8,500. It varies because weekday prices are different. They have weekday and weekend options. So weekday price is different, weekend price is different. They do not provide engineering course. They do provide accounting and the range is 4,200 to 4,550. Again, weekday and weekend, which day you choose, that depends. And the fees will depend on that as well. In Navitas, Navitas doesn't have weekday options. They program either will be on Saturday or Sunday, depends on the intake. Now in IT, if ICT, the fees is 11,300. For engineering, if you're paying in a one go, it will be 15,250. If you're taking installment options, it will be 15,500. And for accounting, 8,750 is the fees. Now with Navitas, scholarships are available. You can come to us. We can explain you how that thing works. And installment plans are available for all of them, for performance, for Navitas as well. So basically, this is the PY I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go to the slides, especially the benefits part for newcomers. So these are the benefits I talked about. Some people have joined later, so I'll explain this again. Benefits is, see, the thing is, whosoever joins whatever program, whether you're studying bachelor's of IT, whether you're studying bachelor's of community, social worker, everyone does it for the benefits, right? Nobody think about, okay, I'll do and I'll think about the benefits later. Everyone wants to know what are the benefits of getting into the program, whichever program they're going for. So benefits are like everyone's, like it's on the top of the head of everyone. So real industry exposure is the first benefit. As I explained, through internship, through workplace, learning about and knowing about the Australian work culture, workplace scenarios, standards, and everything, you get the real industry exposure, which we hardly get while we are on student visa or we are studying something here. And I can give you a real example. One of my client told me that whatever they learned during their masters of IT and what they seen in the industry, it was completely different. Theory is there, yes, it gives you an idea, it gives you the concept, how things work, how programming works, how data analysis work. But once you get into the industry and you start doing on practical basis, things are different. So that's how the theory and practical connect. 5 migration points, as I told it, and everyone knows that it adds 5 migration points. That's not I'm going to stress about. Second is employment opportunities. Now, through internship, as I told earlier to the our guests here, that 50% of students we have seen getting employment through the host companies, means they did internship in the company and they got the employment opportunity. Think like this. This is what I usually guide my students into. Suppose you are going into a company. It's a 3 months internship program, 12 weeks, and they have a vacancy, or a vacancy is going to come sooner because somebody is leaving the company or something like that. So you are there for 3 months. You are learning the process, you're learning the workplace culture, you're learning how things go on. You do the task given by the company. So now you are 3 months trained person over there. Internship could be paid, unpaid, that depends between you and the company. But you know how things work in that company. So think like this. If there is a vacancy, what is the possibility of you getting the employment opportunity, or the person who is a fresher, just got graduated from their master's or bachelor's program? This is how I have seen people getting jobs. And if job is there, everything is there. PR sorted, everything can be done later. Lastly, I would focus on for ICT and accounting graduates. For ICT, you can get full skills assessment through PY as well. There's another criteria which hardly people meet. You need 1 year work experience after your master's or bachelor's. That thing takes time. But PY leading to skill assessment is a sure shot thing. Again, for accounting graduates, those people who cannot get 7 each, they think, okay, it will be difficult for them. They do PY, and after PY, professional year, they can apply for full skills assessment as well. So these are the benefits of PY. And this is my presentation for today. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me and I'll try my best to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Ashwinder. That was a very precise and to the point presentation, which I think covers in the entire aspect and everything for the professional year program. So we do have few questions from the students, and just before going to the questions, I would like to just request everyone that you can see a link of the session review. I would really request the joins to give a review at this link. We will be sharing this link in the chat box as well, so that it's easier for you to just click on the link and give a review for the session. Going forward to the questions, we have a question. It says that what is the fee for civil engineering professional year in Victoria and ACT? And is it available online or face to face?
Right now, the program is available online, but till this COVID thing wraps up, we are free from it. I don't think so. We're going to go to face anytime soon. I spoke to Navitas because Navitas is the only provider who provides engineering PY, irrespective of the field, whether it's mechanical, civil, electronic, electrical, whatever. The fee structure, as I explained, I can show you the slide again. It's 15,250 to 15,500. 250 is for the person who wants to pay the full fee upfront. If you want to take installment option, there are 3 installment options. So it will be 15,500 for the person. And Victoria is available, ACT is available. I can show the campus locations for Navitas as well. So you can very well see they have almost campuses almost every location: Darwin, Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Victoria. You were talking about is Melbourne. So yes, they have options. You can do the PY, and the fee structure, as I explained you, this is the fee structure here. If you have any more doubts, anything related, you want to enroll, you want to get this process done, you can contact us, any of your nearest Aussies branch, and we can help you with it.
Guys, for your questions, we'll also be putting Ashwinder's details in the chat box, so you can always get in touch with him directly. The next question is, how long is PY valid for?
PY is valid for 4 years from the date of the start of the program. So 48 months validity is there.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, hi, I have a job in civil engineering doing PY. Do I need to do internship or not?
See, if you have a job in civil engineering, or it's a common question, whether it's accounting, ICT, or engineering, I'll answer for everyone. If you have a job, and if your company meet the benchmark of the provider, they have certain benchmarks. You have to talk to the provider, Navitas, and in this case only Navitas is there in engineering case. So talk to your provider. If your company meets the benchmark, then you don't have to go to another company to do the internship. Your job can cover that internship part as well. But just check with the provider if your company meets the certain standard criteria which they have for every company. So feel free to contact them and you can sort this out. But I can tell you, if you meet the benchmarks, then you don't need to do the internship. Your job will cover that part.
The next question is, can I do PY on bridging visa?
Yes, you can do, as I told earlier in visa requirements, you can do the program on bridging visa. Condition is your visa should be of at least 1 year. 1 year, that's 12 months validity from the start of the program. And you must have full working rights and full study rights in that bridging visa. Could be bridging visa A, could be bridging visa C, but make sure you have these, you meet the requirements. I can share the slide here. Full work rights, full study rights, and 12 months validity at least.
And also we do get students asking this question that, if they have completed their master's course and they still have 6 months remaining on a student visa, they want to wait for some time before they apply for their 485 visa. Can they start the PY program on the student visa and then continue during the 485?
Actually, no, you at least must apply for your 485 visa, then you get bridging visa A. Now, in that case, your bridging visa A will not be active because your student visa is active. I'll give an example. Suppose my student visa is expiring on, let's say, 1st of July. Okay, I applied my visa today. Now, for these, I'll not take 1st of July. Let's take 31st August. That's the common time frame we see. So my visa is expiring on 31st of August and I apply for 485 today, let's say. I get the bridging visa A, but it will be mentioned on my bridging visa A grant letter that it's not active because my student visa is active till 31st of August. But that doesn't stop you to enroll in PY. Once you have applied for 485 visa and you get bridging visa A letter, whether it's active or not, that doesn't matter. If you have the letter, if you have applied the visa, you can start the PY program. You just need to meet the other requirements as it's on the screen. If you meet all the requirements, you can start the program.
And if a student has already passed the 485, is there any other option for student to study the PY program? I mean, the student has already lost the 485. That time is already passed.
Okay, if you don't have 485 visa, that's okay, but you must be having a visa which gives you this 12 months validity, full work rights, study rights. Could be a 482 visa, could be another training visa, not training visa, sorry. If you have 482 visa applied or 457 RSMS, all that kind of stuff, if you have the visa with this visa requirements, you can do it. See, 485 is the most common we see with the people. 485 visa, they have applied or they are on 485 visa. But if your 485 has expired, suppose you have applied for 482 visa and you want to do professionally a program for further process, PR process, you can do that. But just make sure, I'm stressing on this again and again. You need 12 months validity of your visa from the start of the program and with full work rights and study rights.
That's it for the questions, Ashwinder. I'd like to thank you for this presentation and thank the audience for joining us today. We have shared the links for the next upcoming sessions because we do have some really interesting upcoming sessions. And don't forget to join the Q&A session 5 to 6 p.m. today. That will be, we'll have two very experienced migration agents joining with us. So please make sure you tune into the 5 p.m. session. If you have any questions in relation to education, migration, or any of the products, we'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye bye. And if you have any other questions, like Saru told you, please feel free to ask any of your Aussie's nearest branch. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.